Welcome to Pull a Pin already, a place where you're going to get a veteran's opinion, whether you like it or not. I'm Jim.
And you're going to like it, whether you like it or not. T-shirts available at pullthepinalready.com. Yeah.
Dude, you're killing me, man. I got to write it down. I got to start rehearsing it. But anyways, welcome back. Appreciate you as always. We're going to go off the cuff for another episode because I think there's something you want to talk about that we haven't been following for a little while. I haven't been following for a little while, but it's kind of getting left off and it's still a little creepy and we need to figure it out. And I'm not sure if we even have all the information, but let's have a conversation.
Oh no, we don't have a fraction of the information, but we're going to go on the United Healthcare CEO murder scandal
Yes.
because okay, well, for starters, I want to go ahead and say thank you to all you people out there on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever. These memes are fucking gold. And thank you for your contribution to the degradation of humanity with these memes. I'm loving them. Keep up the good work, guys.
I love memes, man. I'm old school, but memes have won me over, man. And just how quick they get out blows my mind.
Well, not only how quick, but like I remember back in the day, we used to make jokes about, dead celebrities or whatever. And it's like, oh, too soon? No. This
Right.
news story's 3.5 years old. Crank out the memes, motherfuckers, right? It's like
It's
there's no such
crazy.
thing as too soon anymore.
Right? It's crazy. I really appreciate them too, so I double that. But
And
I really haven't seen a lot of the memes. It's so weird because I know you're gonna probably pull this one out because I really haven't seen much on this dude. I know that there was pictures going out and there were people actually dressing up like this dude after they caught him or something, and
well,
that he
yeah.
was caught in a McDonald's with all this gear and stuff on him already still,
Oh,
like
dude.
in
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
So this is what makes this story so great. Okay. Well, beyond all the uber thirsty 20 something chicks that are just obsessed with how hunky this man is, which don't even get me started on that one because that's a whole nother other ball of wax. But like, yeah, so allegedly, the guy, you know, shoots the CEO, takes a bicycle and a bus and just disappears into the night, and nobody knows jack dick about him. And then once word spreads that they have absolutely zero information, then all of a sudden it just seems like out of nowhere, oh yeah, we know exactly who he is, we know exactly where he's going, and oh, by the way, we just arrested him. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, how did you go from absolutely nothing to absolutely everything instantaneously? I mean, it was almost as fast as the COVID vaccine.
Right.
That
And
was a little
that
jab
would
in
lead
there
you to
for you
believe.
benefit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah. So me personally, I am not entirely convinced of this young man's guilt.
what do you think it is then? Give me your conspiracy, I guess, because
Well, it feels very patsy. Like this guy, you know, is I don't know. I feel like this guy's going down for somebody to have because like you said, he got spotted by some random McDonald's employee, and then when they go in and make the raid, he just conveniently has all of his murder equipment just right there in the car. Like, oh shit, yeah, we didn't have to go to his house and look for anything, or he didn't dispose of any of the evidence. It's all just like right here. I mean, there's practically like a selfie of him like standing there with the gun. Like, I mean, like, how do you get so much, damning evidence in so little time? It all feels
set up.
way too neat.
Yeah. And I'm not even.
I mean, the guys on CSI Miami couldn't have solved this case any faster.
Yeah, and I'm not even because I don't know the family, but I understand the family's very reputable. He's like the cousin or something of a very
Well,
reputable family.
and here's the great thing, right? Is because, on top of the conspiracy theories surrounding Luigi himself,
Right.
which, sidebar, I gotta love that this guy's name is fucking Luigi. Um,
What's his last
but
name? Minaconi or something? I don't
uh,
know.
uh, 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 uh,
Minceroni?
Mangione.
Mangione, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, come on down to Luigi Mangione's Pizzeria, eh?
And I heard
What
he
about
was
it?
kind of well off, well liked, and all that. But people were
Yeah,
saying that he was going through some hard times or some PTSD stuff or something. I don't know.
but like, even once you remove him out of it altogether, right? Here's the thing: is they're like, oh, the CEO wasn't, his murder wasn't had nothing to do with the fact that he was a healthcare CEO,
But
right?
I
Have
thought it
you
was a
heard any of this?
manifesto.
Oh, well, no, 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 no. That's all part of the plant, right? So
Of course, right.
when you get into the real deep conspiracy theories, okay? So apparently the CEO that got murdered, he didn't get murdered, kind of like Jeffrey Epstein killed himself,
Right, right.
right? So apparently, the big conspiracy theory circles would have you believe that there's a DOJ investigation into this, some of this gross insider trading scenarios, blah 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 blah, and some of your favorite deep state people, I guess, that we were talking about, in the last episode, were may or may not have been mentioned in some of his depositions.
Hmm.
And that's why somebody finally got tired of this guy not paying insurance claims. And
Mm. What would I mean? You know what? Why is that hard to believe?
oh, it's not at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like at when we keep
I
talking about
mean,
these
honestly, I
conspiracy
find that
theories,
more plausible than somebody
yeah,
killing him for not paying insurance claims.
yeah, especially so cool and calm and dude walked up
Yeah.
like he knew what he was doing. He knew, like, I mean, I've had
Yeah.
plenty of training. I'd still be a little paranoid and looking around. Lady, I think a lady came out right in the
That's because you're
video.
a pussy.
Huh?
What?
What did you say?
I didn't call you a pussy, if that's what you're asking.
What's that behind you? Exactly. Anyways, yeah. So I still think my point being is he wasn't worried about getting caught, but yet he disappeared. But then he got caught with the manifesto and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, in a city like New York City, I mean, there's probably more cameras per square inch in the city of New York than anywhere else in the country, maybe outside of the White House grounds themselves,
Right.
like, how do you just evaporate in that scenario? And then oh, wait, there he is at this random McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Like, and
We're in
then,
the same stuff. Like you
yeah,
clearly left the state like you're trying to get away, but you never thought to change your clothes, get rid of the evidence.
not
That
even his clothes. Come on.
yeah.
Like,
But what do you
it,
so what do you think though? This guy's in on it, or you think that he's set up? Like that's weird to me. Like why would he do that?
I I don't think he's in on it. I think he's a patsy. I think
So you think he
whoever.
did the killing though?
No, I
Oh
don't.
no, you don't think that was even him
No,
that did the killing?
no, I think whoever did the killing was, your grassy knoll guy,
Mm-hmm.
and you know
So it's
they
false
picked this guy.
identification, and he's taking the hit.
Yeah, they picked this guy not really because he did anything wrong, but because if for whatever reason some camera footage does happen to come up of their grassy knoll guy, this guy looks enough like their grassy knoll guy to go, oh, no, 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 see, that's him on the camera right there.
Yeah, because there was some. I remember there was some talk in the beginning that the jackets or the backpacks didn't even look the same or something. They're like
Something,
different
yeah,
colors. I don't know how true that was. Like I said, it's so hard to find the real right information. But again, just like I think we talked about last episode, the first inclination is not to trust the government. You
right.
know what I mean, or the you know politicians or any of them. So it's just crazy how everything now is going to become a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Eh,
trusting anybody now,
Nope.
and it's things like this that make you
I
believe.
don't even trust that you're really Jim.
Oh, I'm not. I'm Jimbotron.
Oh,
I don't know. Whatever. Um, yeah, maybe that's it. I'm AI. No, anyways, but
that
yeah,
explains
that's
the third nostril.
what is that like a triple nipple?
I don't know.
No.
Hey, I'll tell you that story offline.
All
Anyway,
right. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Probably because I don't think I've ever met her. Um. So I don't even know what we're talking about. What are you talking about? CEO, healthcare? What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories, man. Only the good ones, though.
Right. Right. So yeah. So I think. But how do you look here? Let me answer this question. Answer this question because this has always bugs me about conspiracy theories. Like for example, I know the January 6th, for example. I know we talked about, but this is the thought that comes to mind. So you keep people hearing people say, "Oh, it's the upper echelon of the FBI. The foot soldiers are good." Blah 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 blah. Right? You keep hearing that. But why are the foot soldiers not coming forward if they're good? Why are these people involved in this cover up, or whoever in this cover up that we're talking about? Why is no one coming forward and saying, "Hey, I just witnessed the government or whoever's doing the conspiracy do something really wrong, and they're going to put this guy in jail," or why is no one coming forward?
Well, I feel like, in this specific instance, right? I mean, I'm sure that, your quote unquote foot soldier FBI guy is drinking his own Kool-Aid. He thinks the guy he arrested is the guy, right? And I'm sure that all that stuff that they found at the scene
So,
was there when they got there.
so hold on.
But that doesn't mean that there wasn't some sort of advanced party that
So what
goes
you're
out.
saying is that this guy on the other side of my screen here is smarter than an FBI guy. Because you could figure out that this something doesn't seem right,
No,
but the
well,
FBI is like, "Whoa, we got a case closed here."
yeah. I mean, because I mean, well, no, I'm not saying that he doesn't have his own suspicions. But you got to think, these people live a life of facts. They live a life of evidence, right? And no matter how much your gut wants to tell you this isn't right, when
Yeah.
all the evidence is right there in front of you and all you have to go against it is your gut, do you want to be the guy that goes out on, you know, NBC News tonight and go, yeah, well, we have all this evidence, but my gut tells me that this isn't the whole thing. How long do you think that FBI guy is going to keep his job after that?
Well, there, I think you hit the point right there. I think people are so scared of losing their jobs, period, that's the problem. But again, I go back to like the whole January 6th scenario. Like you have a whole group of people, usually politicians or millionaires, calling this an insurrection. Now, I know we joke about it, calling it an erection day, whatever. But I mean, when was the last time you've ever seen or heard of an insurrection that did not involve firearms? Especially from a group of people who you say are all about their guns. So, how is that narrative even so popular amongst anybody? How?
It's-
How are people buying an insurrection of a government with no guns from people who are notoriously known for having guns?
well, so I feel like there's a certain level of assumption bias there. Okay. So, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the word insurrection is defined as a violent uprising against an authority or government. Okay, it's right here on
So,
Google.
like what happened in the Black Lives Matter in Seattle.
Right.
So, the actual insurrection that was for a just
What?
cause.
What? What? Hang
Right.
on. Hang on. Hang on. But it's, I mean, and that's the thing that's where the real discrepancy is, right? Because technically, um the Rodney King riots in LA were an insurrection. Okay, but even at the time, they didn't want to call them riots. It was looting and what. Nobody wanted to use the R word. Nobody wanted to use the I word. Right? Like people use varying degrees of vernacular, right? Because we all have this inner um like this innate inner barometer, right, where certain words ring a little stronger in our collective psyches,
Sure.
right? So, looting isn't going to, register to the same level as rioting, right? And rioting isn't going to register to the same level as insurrection, right? Now, visibly, right, the action of these three things might all look exactly the same, or they might actually look less as the descriptors progress, but it's all about the agenda of the storyteller.
But I'm not talking about the storyteller. I'm talking about the people out there, like you said, the low level guy. If I were to tell you, oh, my neighbors had a fight, what would you think my neighbors did?
They were out in their yard yelling at one another.
Right. But they could have been throwing punches,
Yeah,
right? So
but
you
that's
don't
what I'm
know
saying.
what they did, but
That's
huh?
that's what I was talking about at the very beginning. That's assumption bias.
Right, based on
Because
your perception of what it ever it is, right?
well,
Because
right,
if I'm
and
in the
and
streets,
we have certain collective assumptions that we make kind of at a societal level, right? So when you say your neighbors are having a fight, the I feel like the common assumption, and I mean this, as a society, not just individual people, you're going to say, oh, a, a husband and wife were having an argument or something of
well,
that
argument
nature,
would be different.
right? But
If you say fight, it could be
but
any of
no,
our
no, no,
any level of that.
well, hang on a second. But you said my neighbors were having a fight, right?
Right.
That's the exact statement you gave me,
Yep.
right? And most people, I feel like their assumption, if somebody said, "Oh, hey, my neighbors are having a fight," would think that there's a couple outside having a verbal argument, right? I feel
Right.
like that would be the
They're
standard
redefining what I
assumption.
just said.
Well, exactly, because I feel like that's a social assumption bias that we have, because it's just it's a common
So
uh
so
colloquialism that we associate with that sort of behavior. Now, if you said,
two
a
guys in a
group of my
hockey
a,
rink got
a
into a fight.
Wha exactly, right?
Everybody
There's a
knows they're
different
throwing
connotation
punches.
there. But even if you went so far as to just say, a couple of my neighbors were outside having a fight, right? That's literally that's two words difference, a couple, right? Now, because when you say my neighbors were having a fight, you automatically assume that it's, not this guy on this side and that guy on that side. Our mind kind of goes to, oh, my neighbors being the same set of people, right? And so you almost have that assumption of the same household, which is where your brain makes those logical chain of assumptions that, okay, but then when you add the a couple of my neighbors, well, now you're adding in you know what I'm saying, like, you
Well,
see
yeah,
where the daisy chains go together.
I appreciate the psychology level here, but I want to know where at what point does the average person associate that with insurrection, but not what happened in, you know,
And that's what
Seattle.
I'm telling you, it's because of the storytellers. They choose the words they want
But
to
you're seeing it.
convey.
You're
Yep,
seeing it.
I understand that,
Now,
but
I get
they
what you're saying. Yeah, if I told you my neighbors had a fight, or I told you there was an insurrection, but you never saw the video, yes, the bias, I get it. Holy cow, they had an insurrection. How many people died? Oh,
okay,
just
well, let me
one.
ask it. On these news stories, which did you hear first? Did you hear words or did you see videos?
Well, I guess, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, at first, right.
No,
But
no,
once you
no,
saw
no, it
the
absolutely
video,
does. No, it absolutely does. It matters.
so you think the video would have supported the words once they saw the
No,
video?
no, I don't. But your first impression is already made. Whether you
Sure.
read a headline, whether you heard the words from a reporter, you did not see that video before you already had a bias as to what happened, right or wrong.
Right, but you do this all the time. You do this in sports. Oh, so and so got a gay misconduct, got thrown out. He started a fight, and then you go back and watch the video, and you're like, "What? That wasn't a tripping. What? That wasn't." Common sense people can look at what they're seeing and say,
I
"That
understand
doesn't
that.
fit the description." How did all these people find that to be an insurrection? Maybe they've never seen an insurrection before. Maybe they had no clue what one was. It's an attack on our government. Like what? Like I don't get that. I just don't get the leap. But maybe that's because I was in the military. Maybe I've probably seen, I mean, things that were probably way closer to an insurrection that weren't an insurrection. Like I don't understand where people make that jump. Did we
I-
jump from United Healthcare to January 6th on this?
Oh, dude, that's one of your favorite topics, man. I feel like we end up on January 6th in at least 3 out of 5 episodes.
Well, I did, dude. It bothers me. It just bothers me. Like I can gauge my friends simply by asking them, "Do you think January 6th was an insurrection?" If they
I
say
mean,
yeah, I was like, "All
technically,
right,
by
later."
definition, it was.
But it wasn't. How was
They
it? Some
okay,
people
okay,
were
hang
let in, dude.
well, hang
Some
on.
people were let in.
Okay, a violent uprising against an authority or government.
Okay, so what does that mean? You still have to define them words then. What was violent about it? If the police started shooting at them, the police were violent.
Okay, but does it say which
Doesn't matter
side?
though, right?
Hang on a sec. Does the definition say which side needs to be violent?
Well, according for an uprising, you've got nothing to uprise against people. So it has to be the crowd uprising. So they have to be the violent ones because otherwise it's not an uprising.
Okay, so if a group of people walks into a center of government and the center of government just decides, hey, you know what? Fine, take it, whatever. Is that still an insurrection?
No,
Why not?
not violent.
Okay, so if if the group of people walk up to take the government building, the government shoots back and then decides, shit, there's too many of them and we don't have enough bullets. Hopefully they won't kill us, and they drop their guns and throw their hands up. Is that still an insurrection?
If the people didn't shoot, I don't think so. Because a violent uprising together is the word. It's not violence with an uprising by either side. Like I feel like the
But I mean,
uprising has to be violent
no. But see, what you're missing is why did the guys drop their guns to begin with?
because they were returning fire.
No, I said no. I didn't say anything about
Oh.
them shooting back. They shot a couple of people. They realized there's more people than they have bullets, so they drop their guns, hoping
Okay.
that they don't die in the process.
Okay, so you're describing violent being the number of people. What's your description? How do you know when something's violent?
Because people en masse, whether they do violent things or not, come bearing the threat of violence.
Right. Just like every concert, every football game,
Yes.
it's full of violence.
That's why there's security guards everywhere. Yes.
they never become an
can
uprising.
You can never underestimate the stupidity of people in large groups.
I don't think that defines them as violent. There's potential for violence, but I don't
Yes.
think that defines violence. Because even if
No,
a group
no,
of people
it's a
march,
bit of a
walk right
stretch.
by you,
It's a bit
like
of a stretch.
caravans of Mexicans walking right past your police, there's nothing violent about that big group. Um, but yeah, I guess my point is if we got to sit here and define and nitpick, I clearly still think you're misled if you think that
Well,
was
no,
a insurrection.
Here's my thing. Okay, like I said, I'm basing it solely off the definition of the word. But my biggest issue with that is that if you're going to use the word insurrection for what happened on January 6th, then you also need to use it for, the George Floyd demonstrations, right?
Right. Well, that's
know,
my point.
exactly. So don't pick and choose where you think it's okay to rise up against the government versus not rising up against the
Well,
government.
but I'm specifically talking about Seattle's government, not
Yeah.
riots against a city, a town, a bunch of
No,
neighbors.
that's still a
The
government, whether you think it's a little government or not.
but I'm saying for the average no common sense person, you watched a government be taken over by a group of chopped people or whatever it was. You watched that and you didn't call that an insurrection. And there
Right.
was violence and people were killed.
Yeah.
That's not an insurrection.
But it
But
is.
you watched a bunch of people go to the Capitol where the only person that was killed was a Trump supporter, and you're calling that an insurrection and you believe it.
Well, because I the only the only quasi justifiable thing I can attribute to any of this is that people don't view uh people view the word insurrection as meaning as a word that's associated with a federal government, right? Like, oh, you can't have an insurrection against City Hall or the county commission. Like,
Do we,
yes, you can,
do we need
because
to
by
read your
definition,
definition again?
well,
You're right.
yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly my point. Is by
Yeah.
definition, it says a government. It doesn't say it
Right.
has to be a national government. It can be a state government, a county government, a city government, or the government of some fucking where else. It could be the
Right.
provincial government of Ontario, for all the fuck we know. And everybody knows that Canada's not even a real country.
What? But
You
it's
know, I
going to
got
be our
some dumb
51st
shit in
state.
there. Just no. I really hope Puerto Rico gets it before Canada does. I'm rooting for you guys.
You see, Trump made that joke, and everybody gets all hysterical. Oh, he's going to do. I'm so done with these people, but we're so done with this
Canada
show.
can be 52, but Puerto Rico needs to be 51. Come on, guys.
Well, I don't know. Until we get rid of all
They've
the
been
garbage
teetering on the
problem.
fence for decades.
You remember the garbage problem? We got to get rid of that first.
You mean California?
No, don't you remember when the
No, I
comedian
was
made the
I,
thing?
no, I was
Oh, you're
making
trying
a
to be
joke
funny.
that California's garbage.
Well, maybe we could trade Puerto Rico and California and just move them,
Oh,
shift
or
them.
hey, I'll trade California for Canada.
Really? I probably would do that too. I don't know, man. The whole West Coast over there it's lost. It's beautiful places, but it's
Yeah.
lost its way. And I'm really, whatever, man. 51 states or 50 states. Maybe it's better. I don't know. Whatever. We need to go though. You got to get some sleep because you're an old
No,
man.
I'm old.
Old people stuff. But I appreciate you coming on again. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the lesson and the definition of erection. So yeah, I hope you have a happy January erection day, and it's coming up again soon.
Hey,
So
you know what? Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to start getting some advertisers. We can do ads for boner pills. I feel like,
yeah,
you know,
sure, man. Tell
yeah.
them about your experience, man. Tell them how it works and
Dude,
validate it.
hey,
You get a free supply.
those ads come with free samples, man. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You'll get a free
yeah. Come on,
supply, and
advertisers, hit us up. We
yeah,
will plug the hell out of your stuff. Okay, come on,
yeah.
guys.
And until then, we're gonna plug on out of here. Thanks for showing up again. Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. Make everything come show, whatever. Blah 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 blah. Until then, Godspeed.
And pull out the boner pills.
Oh, good God. Boom. Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.